Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said that he plans to speak with U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday to hear more about his call with Russian leader Vladimir Putin. "Today I will have contact with President Trump," Zelenskyy said at a news conference in Helsinki with Finnish President Alexander Stubb. "We will discuss the details of the next steps with him." According to Associated Press, Zelenskyy said that Putin's agreement to stop striking energy infrastructure were very much at odds with reality following a series of drone attacks across Ukraine. Zelenskyy said that one of the most difficult issues in future negotiations would be the issue of territorial concessions. "For us, the red line is the recognition of the Ukrainian temporarily occupied territories as Russian. We will not go for it," he said. Russia launched a series of drone strikes that struck civilian areas overnight and damaged a hospital in Ukraine following the refusal by President Vladimir Putin to back a full 30-day ceasefire during discussions with his American counterpart.
Навіть цієї ночі, після розмови Путіна з президентом Сполучених Штатів Америки Дональдом Трампом, коли Путін сказав, що він нібито віддає наказ припинити удари по українській енергетиці, було за ніч 150 дронів, в тому числі по об'єктах енергетики. Удари були по транспорту, удари були, вражено було, на жаль, 2 лікарні по звичайній міській інфраструктурі. Тобто слова Путіна дуже розходяться з реальністю. Саме тому потрібна оборонна підтримка, потрібна підтримка нашої протиповітряної оборони, потрібен тиск на Росію. Для нас червоною лінією є визнання українських тимчасово окупованих територій російськими. Ми на це не підемо. Сьогодні у мене буде контакт з президентом Трампом. Ми сьогодні з ним будемо обговорювати деталі. Я думаю, деталі наступних кроків. У нас в Джеді дійсно була дуже хороша зустріч наших команд. Я вважаю, що все правильно йшло, аби не Росія, яка завжди незадоволена, коли щось йде правильно. Тому ми з ним проговоримо, я думаю, деталі наступних кроків. І я думаю, що почую від нього деталі його розмови з Путіним.
A series of pro-military patriotic installations were removed late on Tuesday from outside of the U.S. Embassy in Moscow shortly after the news of the phone conversation between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump. According to Associated Press, there were reports on Russian Telegram channels that some of the installations around the embassy had been returned. AP couldn't immediately verify the reports. Trump and Putin agreed during a lengthy call Tuesday to an immediate pause in strikes against energy and infrastructure targets in the Ukraine war, but the Russian leader stopped short of backing a broader 30-day pause in fighting that the U.S. administration is pressing for. Ukraine hasn't responded yet. The White House described the move Tuesday as the first step in a movement to peace that it hopes will eventually include a maritime ceasefire in the Black Sea and a full and lasting end to the fighting. The White House said negotiations would begin immediately on those steps. Trump and Putin talked for more than an hour. There's no indication Putin has backed away from his previous conditions, fiercely opposed by Kiev, to consider a broader ceasefire. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin agreed during a lengthy call Tuesday to an immediate pause in strikes against energy. According to Associated Press infrastructure in the Ukraine war, but the Russian leader stopped short of backing a broader 30-day pause in fighting that the U.S. administration is pressing for. The White House described it as the first step in a movement to peace that it hopes will include a maritime ceasefire in the Black Sea and eventually a full and lasting end to the fighting. But there was no indication that Putin has backed away from his conditions for a prospective peace deal, which are fiercely opposed by Kiev. And shortly after the call ended, air raid alerts sounded in Kyiv, followed by explosions in the city. Local officials urged people to seek shelter. Putin during the call reiterated his demand for an end to foreign military and intelligence assistance to Ukraine, according to the Kremlin. Trump, though, denied that the subject came up during an interview with Fox News on Tuesday. "We didn't talk about aid," Trump said. "We didn't talk about aid at all." Trump on Tuesday again underscored his view that Ukraine is not in a strong negotiating position. He said Russian forces have surrounded Ukrainian troops in Russia's Kursk region, amplifying an assertion made by Russian officials that's been disputed by Zelensky. "They are nicely encircled, and that's not good," said Trump, according to excerpts of an interview on Fox News Channel's Ingram Angle. "And we want to get it over with."
Russia has the advantage, as you know. They have encircled about 2,500 soldiers. They're nicely encircled, and that's not good. And we want to get it over with. Look, we're doing this. There are no Americans involved. There could be if you end up in World War III over this, which is so ridiculous. But, you know, strange things happen. And I think we had a great call. It lasted almost 2 hours. Talked about a lot of things and toward getting it to peace, and we talked about other things also.
Was there non-negotiables mentioned by Putin? It was reported that I think the Kremlin media actually stated that he demanded an immediate cessation of aid to Ukraine in order to get to this multi-step deal.
No, he didn't. We didn't talk about aid. Actually, we didn't talk about aid at all. We talked about a lot of things, but aid was never discussed.